Let's see. Hello, people. Hello, internet. Nobody is there. Come here, Sebastian. This is like the nerve-wracking part. Yay, somebody's there. Is that you, Athena? I can't see the chat. Hi. Welcome to my chat. Athena's gonna join the chat. I don't know if you saw, there she is. Hi, Athena. I don't know if you saw the other live that I did, but I did a live with Athena, and we talked about our experiences with bipolar disorder, and I have that on my channel. What's up, Brittany? So yeah, today has been a very weird day. Hopefully more of you guys join. I don't know, like, I've just started doing lives and I've only done one other live recently, so I'm not sure. I know a few people couldn't join that were here last time, so hopefully, there we go, a few more people. Hi, welcome. So yeah, today has been a very weird day. I woke up this morning and my neighbor was having an issue with my other neighbor, and Sebastian, Sebastian's barking. So what's up, Eric? Hey, I'm so glad you're here. So Eric, I don't know if you saw the video with Athena, but Athena's in the chat. So we're going to talk about some stuff that happened with her recently. And Brittany. But today has been, hey, Tyson. Hi. Oh my gosh, you guys are coming. I'm so happy because I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be so nervous if people don't show up, because these things are so nerve-wracking when I start, you guys. I'm just like, oh God, I hope somebody, like, it's like my worst nightmare that I'm sitting here talking to myself for a long time. But anyways, I get up this morning and my neighbor is going at it with my other neighbor. And my one neighbor is yelling at my other neighbor, who is a double widow and a single mom. And the other neighbor is like a very, I want to say it nicely, but in a different state of privilege than the single mom who is a double widow. And so apparently the kids were being really loud because she has like 3 kids or something happened. I don't know. But I went over there and was talking to them, and it, like, these events are really triggering for me. So, okay, a few more people are in here. So let me say hi. Greetings from India. Oh, hey, India. Do you think that TikTok is going to be banned in the US? Because Michelle, is that how I say your name? Let me know if I said it the right way. Why bipolar? You look amazing. Thank you. Like, done. Hey, sweetheart, how are you doing? How are you guys doing? So anyway, I was talking about how the situation first thing in the morning was happening with my neighbor. And so I know her, and I have still Indians can use TikTok using VPN. Don't know about TikTok, but I'm going to be deported. Oh, are you sure? Are you in the US? Are you going to be deported from the US? Oh, thank you. Thank you, Junebug. That's what keeps me going. That's why I do this. I want to be able to help you guys feel less alone. I want to feel less alone because you guys always make me feel less alone. And, you know, of course, I want to teach people about bipolar disorder. And, you know, the main point of, like, one of the big, not the main, but like one of the big points of my channel, thing that I try to stress is that for loved ones is that when their loved one who has bipolar is being awful and saying things mean and stuff like that, that it's the disease, it's not them, and it comes from uh, a place of, typically a place of delusions and stuff like that. So hang on. Zimbabwe. Is it, I don't know about the conditions in Zimbabwe, but is this, are you being deported because of Trump? I'll finish my story, Eric. Okay, Charles Hoffman. Hi, Charles. It's hard to like keep my thoughts and follow the chat at the same time. But anyways, my neighbor, my beautiful neighbor, I've hung out with her a few times. I've watched her son. I've known her for a couple of years now. And so when I see her arguing with my neighbor, my other neighbor, of course I walk over there, but like, so they're yelling at each other, and I'm like, I try to like intervene a little bit and be like, she's a single mom. It's hard to be a single mom. And he's like going on and on yelling. And I don't know what they're really yelling about, but he was saying something. This is when he said something about abuse and child abuse. And I'm like, okay, I gotta go. I gotta walk my dog. I can't. I can't. It was already like triggering because I haven't really talked about it a lot, but there's a personality type called an empath, and a lot of people who have bipolar disorder are also an empath. And that means that you have like extreme empathy, and to a point where when you're around other people that are going through something tragic, you feel it too, because you have so much empathy. You also notice little subconsciously notice things that other people don't like, like voice inflection, and that makes you physically feel something. And I was about to cry because of all the energy happening there. So I'm like, I gotta go. But I don't know what and so I walk my dog, go around the building, and because I just like, I'm like, I gotta go, and they're arguing, and so I walk my dog, go around the building, and out front there's a cop, and I'm like, oh shit, damn it, now there's a cop out front. And so I walk up and I go in my house. I'm like, Steph, mind your own business. And I go in my apartment, and I have like a security gate, and I see her walk by, and I'm like, hey, are you okay? I'm like, was he saying something about her other son? And was he trying to say you were child abuse? And she's like, he was trying to say that I did something. And then she's like, I gotta go. I called the cops. And so she called the cops on him. So I don't know what happened from there, but that was how my morning started. And then I came back here, and that was really shaking, like jarring, that waking up to that. And then having like these ruminating thoughts around it, like the whole morning, this is going through my brain, like replaying the situation and how the traumatic the event was. And so I'm like, so that was my morning. And then I went on a walk with Sebastian this afternoon and was confronted by some woman on the street. Let me just follow. And are you Daniel? Let me see. Because I wanted to see in some We Know Wi-Fi No network where I will live. Oh no, that's a bummer. Hey Dixon, thank you for being here. No roads, only because of new president. Yeah, a lot of people are being deported because of President Trump. And I've kind of like made a point to never get political on my channel, but I think that's going to change. Because I was talking in my last live, and I was like, I just want to talk about anything, like I've been doing my channel all about bipolar. I want to help people. I want to teach people about bipolar, but I also like, I've gotten to a point where I've done so many videos, and it's hard to, talk about bipolar all the time. And I'm not going to stop making videos about that, but I really just want to like talk about whatever I think about everything, like be myself and just be like, this is how I feel politically. If you don't like it, we can still be friends, you know, but the mass deportation that is happening is probably the worst thing for the economy, like, period. Like, our economy in the United States is so reliant on immigration, like, no clue. And so what these people don't understand that want to kick everyone else out of their sandbox is that the people who are being deported right now, a lot of them are working the jobs that they would never, ever, ever consider working. And we are going to see significant prices with your food going increasing, especially if you eat meat, because there will be nobody working in the slaughterhouses. There will be nobody there to process your meat, to pull the lever down when the gas chamber goes on, like, no one, because, you know, we're too privileged to do that kind of stuff. So those jobs are going to go unfilled, and this is going to affect the price of your meat, the price of your vegetables that are picked out in the fields. Like, people don't think about these things. So, I mean, Scott Brown says I seem like a cold, mean, bitter person. Aw, I'm so sad you said that. Anyways, moving on. Yeah, I see. It's like you say something and somebody, like, did you just fart? You ever eat a Snickers bar upside down and get that veiny texture on your, I have no idea what you're talking about. Okay, you guys are hysterical. Are you a Timo reject? Oh, that's funny. Twerk. I don't know who Dixon Her is. Oh my God. Okay, so apparently YouTube is not filtering out the pervy comments. So, oh my God, Jess, thank God you're there. There's a bunch of nonsense going on about, like, pervy stuff in the chat. Hey, Jose, you made it. That's funny. Do you think that a person can do well without taking bipolar meds? I know that for me, 40 years of my life, I was not on medication, and I almost died multiple times. And the last time I had a really bad episode, I ended up face down underneath a car because I blacked out walking, and the car didn't see me and just drove me flat over. So it's hard for me to answer that question because I don't think that trying to live a life without medication when you have bipolar disorder is a safe decision. For me, like, I almost died so many times because of bipolar disorder, and like I can't even imagine not taking medication again. My only wish is that I would have known that I have bipolar sooner, so I could have been on medication sooner, so I could have, like, lived my life like I live now. There are people who really struggle to find the right medicine that works for their body, and those people, I'm not in those shoes, because I'm lucky in that I've been responsive to meds. However, I've tried over 20 different medications, and I'm constantly changing my medications. They're same, under medicated for yeah, so for me, medication it's not an option. And I think that I would advise anybody who's been diagnosed with bipolar to not try to live their life without medication, because we lose 8 million people a year due to mental illness, and a lot of times those are people taking their own lives or being putting themselves in very dangerous situations. So a lot of those deaths could have been averted with medication. I have no idea. Hi, Joe Pistachio. I have no idea how many people self-diagnose themselves as being bipolar, but you should. I think if you think you're bipolar, you need to go to a psychiatrist. There are tests on the internet that you can take to see if you might be bipolar. So you can like Google bipolar test and see if and take the test, online test. I've taken it, and of course it says I have bipolar. And the test, if it says you have bipolar, you can't just leave it at that. You need to go see a psychiatrist. And even if you still get like a negative, you don't, and you still think you might be bipolar, go to a psychiatrist, because that's the only way you're going to get help and what you need. Have you tried Lamictal? Hi, John. Yes, I am on Lamictal. I'm on 400 milligrams of Lamictal. And if that question was for me, I'm not sure if that question was for me. People throw that word, but I've been medically diagnosed. I'm definitely crazy, but I like it. Part forever. Self-diagnosis. I know, right, Eric? That's crazy. They can't help you, just talk to people. Wait, what? Make me vision foggy. Okay, so like Ephraim, you have to like change it then. Like my best advice would be to talk to a psychiatrist, and tell the psychiatrist, look, this medicine is making me foggy. I don't want to take this. What else can I take? And you should have a psychiatrist willing to work with you and change your medication if it doesn't work. Like if I tell my psychiatrist I'm not taking this because it's harming me, she's like, okay, well, I need to find a different medicine for you then. So last time I kept, when I did the live, I kept forgetting what my psychiatrist had put me on that I only took for a month, because I really didn't think it did anything for me, was Vraylar, which is a new medication for bipolar disorder. And I think it's an antipsychotic. I'm not sure if it's think positively. Hold on, I gotta catch up here. Hi, Clint, Gage, thank you. Thank you for joining. Thank you for being subscribed. Those, yeah, so we're going back to those vision. So, look at the side effects of the tablets. For Lamictal, is it better than lithium? Think positively. I'm on 50 grams of Lamictal myself. SP, are you bipolar 1? Are you diagnosed bipolar 1 or bipolar 2? 50 milligrams seems like so small of a dose. Like I started on 150 milligrams, but you're not really supposed to. Well, so the reason why I ask if you're bipolar 1 or bipolar 2, for people that don't know, there are 2 types of bipolar. There's bipolar 1, where people go into mania, and a lot of us experience psychosis, where we see things, hear things, believe things that are not real, delusions, and delusions of grandeur and things like that. People who experience bipolar type 2 usually have a significant amount of depression, and they experience hypomania. And hypomania is like the step that people with bipolar 1 have right before they get to mania and psychosis. But bipolar type 2, people never get to actual mania. It just kind of stops at hypomania. Yeah, you're not supposed to feel the medication. It's supposed to, I mean, you're supposed to feel, so it's hard for me to say, because I know that people with bipolar 2, they cycle so much that they spend so much time in depression or hypomania, that I noticed, like from some of the stuff reading on Reddit, that people are in such a down state that they don't really know what like normal feels like. They only know that really high feeling or the really low feeling. So I can only speak from perspective of bipolar type 1. But I'd like to stop in and listen to you talk because it's interesting. Hey, scientific spirituality. I appreciate you. Yeah, there's a lot to learn about bipolar disorder. I have been taking Lamictal, John. I have been taking Lamictal for 7 years. I started on 150 milligrams and then had issues in my life, went up to 200 milligrams, had another major stressful event in my life, and my doctor bumped it up to 3, from 200, 300, and now I'm on 400, which is the max dose here in the United States, according to my doctor. But I have heard people, there's been people in the live that from other countries who have been on like 800 milligrams. So I'm not sure if it's just because it's harder for doctors to get sued in other countries. I have no idea. Maybe it's a different kind of Lamictal. I have no idea. But I'm on 400 milligrams. I've been taking it for 7 years. I have had situations where I've added and taken away medication. I was on Prazosin for a really long time for PTSD, which I say in one of my shorts. By the way, those of you guys that are subscribed, if you've noticed, like I'm blasting out a bunch of shorts lately, it's because I am, and I'm gonna do that for like the next 90 days. I have a plan to like release more, like as many as I can a day, with a max being of 3. But it's because TikTok is going to be banned, and I decided that I love YouTube so much, I want to try to like make it like something that I give 100% of my energy to, versus 40%, which is what I was doing before, because I really love connecting with you guys, and I need you, because you make me feel less alone. And bipolar 1, a friend. So you were asking, yeah, so what was the question? I gotta go back and, what were we talking about? Friend, hold on, you guys. Athena, are you in there? Are you still here? Because you guys, Athena called me today, and she's like, I need to talk, and so I was like, well, I guess I have something to talk about on the live, because congratulations on your baby. Deport illegal immigrants. Oh, back to politics. We want to go back to politics, do we? I was in the middle of an important conversation, but oh yes, YouTube is finally working. It says this message is held for review, so the pervy stuff will be filtered out. So that is nice, right? That won't solve much. That's how you make America. Oh no. Okay, I love you guys, like regardless of your political beliefs. I want you to learn about bipolar disorder. I want to connect with you the way I connect with a lot of you guys, like Eric. I don't know if you're still in there, but you know, you guys are like, I make friends with you guys and stuff. So like, I appreciate you watching the channel, you know, and that's why I'm going to continue doing this. And I hope you guys don't mind being blasted with all the shorts. So many fake and scams on TikTok. I'd be happy to see it go. I will not sure use it or miss it. TikTok was kind of like an angry community too. Like people were kind of mean. Like I posted a few videos to TikTok, and I just never like really got into it. Right before the election, I started watching a lot of debates on TikTok, which I found really interesting, and found a few people that I really liked. But yeah, TikTok is definitely going to be banned. This 90-day extension is just like Trump politics. It's already been, the Supreme Court said you're banned unless they sell, which they are not going to, because if they were going to sell, they would have sold in India before they pulled out of India, according to my husband. And I believe him because he reads a lot and he tends to know this stuff. But maybe he's wrong, but I definitely believe that TikTok will be banned 100%. I'm non-American. I actually don't care. I am learning to speak. Okay, Joes, come on. Let's be nice. Let's see. YouTube is mean too. You know what? I haven't experienced a lot of like meanness on YouTube at all. Like, I've gotten some comments that are really hurtful, but those comments are coming from people that are looking at my channel because they have a loved one with bipolar and they've been hurt by them. So any kind of hate that I have gotten on the channel, it usually comes from a place of pain. So I try to acknowledge that. Also, I don't know if you guys are aware, but there's a lot of hate bots. Like there are actual bots that go around and they are designed to look like people talking to you, and they're actually a hate bot. And I found a lot of those on TikTok. And I actually feel like I encountered one on my channel one time because it was really weird. Like the whole time they just kept saying negative thing, negative thing, negative thing. And I just kept blasting them with like positivity. And then they completely flipped and started saying like the same stuff I had said to them back to me. So it was really strange. But this chat makes me, oh my gosh, Eric, I'm so sorry. You know what? Can you like go in there and tell me what I was talking about before I lose my... I love YouTube. Greetings from another bite. I don't speak openly about it, but I would love to hear more about your delusions and mania. I know I was telling a story that I didn't finish, and we were talking about Lamictal too. So I will talk about my delusions and mania in a second. Phil, thank you for joining. John, side effects from Lamictal. Yes, I have it's a bearable side effect. Like there are side effects to all the psychiatric medications, I feel like, but some are bearable and some are unbearable. You know, some, if they make you gain 50 pounds and cause you to be diabetic, that's not really bearable. It's better to change a medication. And there's a real like fear changing your medication when you have bipolar disorder. It's scary because you find something that works. There's so many side effects. Anyways, I went on a rant, but the major side effect that I have with Lamictal is sensitivity to light. So if the sun is out bright, I have to have sunglasses or I will not be able to open my eyes. It burns too bad. So that's really the only one that I have. So I just wear sunglasses. I do get a lot of indigestion and stuff like that. But I don't really want to go into that because it had to do with certain... I got indigestion. I thought it was from the lactose that was in the pills. There's two different versions of Lamictal. There's Lamictal, the pills that you swallow, and then there's Lamictal dissolvables. And so I asked my doctor to switch it to the dissolvables, and I thought I saw a difference at first, but no, I still get heartburn and stuff. So it must just be old age. Do you take anything for sleep? Yes, I take, currently I take Dayvigo, which is a new medication that I was taking. I've taken Lamictal before, which didn't really do anything for me. I feel like there was another sleep medication that I was taking too. Yeah, me too. I like... SP says, that's so scary. I'm so grateful for my access to medicine. Yeah, for sure. Try Jesus. Okay. Ooh, let's address this before I talk about my bipolar disorder delusions. The butler says, pharmaceutical dream, try Jesus. Hold on. Try Jesus, just saying. I used to be really religious and not religious, but I grew up going to church in a Catholic church. and I believed in God, and I sort of did. I believed in God, and I believed in God, right? I was young. I believed in God. I was going, this went on until I was like 14. I would go to the Catholic Church every day. And so I was, learned about God. The only question that I always had was, well, who made God? And nobody ever had the answer for that. They always said he just is. And, first of all, that, and so it didn't make any sense to me, because I was like, can't the universe just is? Like, didn't make any sense to me. So in response to try Jesus, the butler, he's not going to do anything for my mental illness, because he's a man who lived hundreds of years ago, who likely had bipolar disorder himself, because he talked to God and all that and stuff. But yeah, I don't believe, I'm atheist now. I don't believe in God anymore. I believe in something. I believe in energy and positivity and things like that. And I believe in caring for others, and I believe in morality and doing the right thing. But no, I don't believe that trying Jesus is going to cure my bipolar. And I get a lot of comments like that, and I'm usually highly triggered by it. And one of the reasons why I stopped making YouTube videos for a while was because I made a video and I went off about atheism, because somebody had left a comment telling me that if I just prayed to God, I would be cured of bipolar disorder, and so I find it really triggering and really hurtful when people say that. I was saying how I used to go to church, I used to go to church up until about the time my parents split up at like 14, and then we just stopped going to church. And then I started going to youth group a little bit later to hang out with people and have fun, and I still, believed in God, except I didn't really believe in God. And then in my 30s, I really like grabbed close to my faith. I started singing in a choir, and then I married somebody who has a master's in theology. So, and then, I was really shocked that he didn't believe in God at first. At one point in my life, like, I broke up with the guy because he didn't believe in God. And so I'm in such a different place now, but I thought it was weird that my husband didn't believe in God. And he said, and I was like, you don't believe in God? He's like, no, I don't believe in magic. And it just like made so much sense to me, because I'm like, wait a minute, like, somebody like is magically rising from the ground and going around healing people. They believe that a lot of the people that Jesus was healing had epilepsy. And this was during a time when people with bipolar disorder were considered witches and burned at the stake. So there was a lot of really awful stuff happening surrounding religion. So the way, like, Ricky Gervais is also atheist. He's an actor. I don't know if you guys know him, but the way that he explains it is, you believe in one God, but there are 3,000 gods out there. And so I just don't believe in one more. You don't believe in 2,999 gods, but I just don't believe in one more. So I thought that was a really, really informative way to explain it. But so yeah, it hurts when you say that to people. Not everybody, the butler, not everybody is religious, and nobody wants to have their nobody wants to be told that if you don't believe in Jesus, you're going to have bipolar. If you don't, Jesus can cure your bipolar. Jesus does not cure bipolar. That's not real. The only way you can survive bipolar is by taking medication and going to therapy, and really like working with your psychiatrist to make sure you're safe. I used to take a high dose of Zyprexa and then switch to Liblavi and drop back down to comfortable weight. I take a Zyprexa supplement, but I drop back down to 5 milligrams because, yeah, I gained a lot of weight on Zyprexa too. Jose was saying that Zyprexa medication made her gain weight. This is a serious medical. Greetings from Slovakia. Hi, Tommy. Just stopping to spread some love and positive also too. hit the like button. So, no. Aw, thank you. Thank you, Tommy. Maybe you're still there. Oh, I was going to talk about bipolar delusions. You guys, I know I'm fully aware that I start conversations and don't finish them. So if I stop talking about something after starting talking about it, please come in, please type in the chat that you want to hear the rest of that. But I am going to talk about bipolar delusions in a second. I am happy and my friends with Jesus, but I still have bipolar. Yeah, I had bipolar when I was pretty religious. And you know, I prayed and prayed and prayed to make my mania and psychotic episodes go away, and you know what? Nothing happened. So there was no proof to me. Actually, that was disproving a belief that I had. There are a lot of unnecessary comments here. Yeah, I do. How do I get a mod? Like, do I have somebody? I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna Google that and find out how to do that. Aw, I'm sorry, Ann K. Like, that's such a problem. Such a problem. That's what I'm saying. So many people are hurt by people who claim to be Christian and want to spread their love of God with other people so badly that they go around and tell people who have a mental illness that it's because they don't love Jesus enough. But though these same people, they don't go around on people's channel who have diabetes or cancer, and they don't go type in the chat there, hey, all you need is Jesus, and then you'll be cured of cancer. They don't do that, but because we have a mental disorder, that's what they do. In my mania, I'm confused. Oh my God, Phil. Okay, so talking about delusions, when I'm psychotic, the last time I was psychotic, after my dog died and I lost it, even though I'm on medication, I had to hospitalize myself. But everyone in the hospital was famous. Like, my delusion was that everyone was famous. I remember there was a girl that like barely resembled Lana Del Rey, and she was the Lana Del Rey, just undercover there. So yeah, I had really similar. Isn't it crazy how we have similar? There was also one time where I thought I was hearing the voice of God. This is why I have mental issues. Oh, because no, it's not. I have bipolar disorder. Over time, I go to the casino. You must be talking to Athena. Okay. Yeah, I should. But yeah, oh, that was the rest of the story. I forgot if you guys heard the beginning of the story earlier. The reason why I stopped making videos on YouTube for so long was because the last video that I had made, I like I said, I went off on my atheism and my beliefs that way, and I'd never done that before, and I lost like 5 subscribers in like the first 10 minutes. And those were people that I had really connected with and talked to for like months. And so it was really upsetting for me. And I was like, you know what, you're not giving 100% of this and you're making mistakes. But now, you know, I feel like it doesn't matter. Like I'm not going to make it through the next 4 years. Like never mentioning what triggers me, because a lot of times the things that are happening in the world do trigger me and cause me mental health issues. No, okay, so the butler is spreading a lot of misinformation. I appreciate you being here, but bipolar disorder medications save lives, period. Like, we have to take them. We don't have a choice. The reason why people live past 100 nowadays is because we have medication. Back in the day, before we had all those medications, people were dying. People were only living till like 50 years old. So we need medication. And the pharmaceutical companies are far from perfect, but they make stuff that we need. I am a very Bible believer, and my religion is reason why people blamed my bipolar. I think Jesus on heal. I am very Bible believer, and my religion is the reason why people blamed my bipolar. I think Jesus can heal bipolar, but certain times bipolar cannot feel like a disability. I mean, if you believe in Jesus and in a spiritual way and that he can heal you, that's something that you are welcome to believe in. And if that helps you, I think that's awesome. From Sweden, sending some, hey, JPK, thank you. Bipolar doesn't always feel like a disability, especially when you have the ability to think about six. Yeah, you know, I don't work because it's I'm in a situation where I can, and it's best. I'm not rich or anything, but I have a mental illness that almost killed me multiple times. And the less stress I have in my life, the less likely it is that I have another psychotic episode and almost hurt myself or someone else. So yeah, I don't work, but I don't feel like a disabled person. There are times when people make me feel disabled. Athena said things in the world trigger me too sometimes. Athena was talking about how she recently had like some manic behavior with gambling. It's actually quite common and a symptom of bipolar that falls under reckless behavior. But it's very common with people who have bipolar gambling. I got a phone call, but I missed the butler. It's the mental illness, not me. Yeah, so you guys want to hear like what were we talking about? Oh yeah, I was going to talk about delusions. I did talk about some of the delusions a little bit. Let me see. My very so it when you there I am. Yeah, somebody called. It's probably the people that have my mattress. So yeah, mental illness is not me. Okay, so the first episode I had, the delusions that I had were really crazy. I was really young. I was 16 when I had my first episode, and it started with me not sleeping. And at the time, I was smoking pot at the time. However, and smoking marijuana can make an episode happen. It can definitely. I don't believe that it can give you bipolar disorder. I think because I think it's just it can facilitate or cause mania. If especially, you know, if you have the illness, and it can, especially as powerful as the weed is now. My psychiatrist was telling me that people, even if they don't have bipolar or another psychotic illness, the marijuana is so powerful that it can send them into psychosis. Maybe restart the live. It didn't it fix? Pot can change you. Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean it's it can change some people. I mean some people, yeah, some people need it for medicine and some people use it for medicine. It's not his sound is in and out. I don't know what to do, you guys. Hold on. The sound is in and out. Okay. If you are bipolar, you can't do drugs. Stop trolling. Yeah, you shouldn't. You shouldn't do drugs. Definitely not. Especially not marijuana. And then, can you guys hear me? I don't know what to do, you guys. I think I have to end the stream and restart it. Okay, I'm going to end the stream and restart it. Community moderation. Hold on. Really? Eric, you can hear me perfect? Now Athena's texting me. Athena's texting me. Can you guys hear me? Am I still cutting in and out? Eric can hear me, so can you remind me what I was talking about? I have ADHD. I don't know if you guys know that, but that's my additional diagnosis that I got. I got a recent additional diagnosis. I have no idea what I was talking about before I cut out. Thank you for a kind debate. Yeah, I appreciate you, the butler. And you know, even if we disagree on things, like, it's cool to be able to talk about it, you know? Like, sometimes on the internet, it can be, it's still cutting out, Athena? Oh yeah. I was talking about pot and how the first time. Thank you, Harold. I appreciate that. I had to rejoin the live and it's working now. What's this channel about? So I have bipolar disorder. I have lived with it my entire life, and I was undiagnosed until 7 years ago. So I had a lot of psychotic episodes during that time, and I had a lot of extreme depression, and I was misdiagnosed, and I went years without medication. So I have a lot of experiences that I share with other people in an attempt to explain bipolar disorder so they can learn about it. So that's what my channel is all about. And hello from Nashville. Hey. Bye, Joes. Have fun with the kid. Harold, 69 degrees outside. Where are you, Harold? Sad. You are welcome. Brought on by my immaturity and drug use. Yeah, so yeah, I don't believe that marijuana causes bipolar. However, if you are bipolar, you definitely shouldn't smoke marijuana. Some people do. Full disclosure, I smoke marijuana and I shouldn't. I have actually never had an episode while using marijuana, except for the very first time that I had a psychotic episode, which was, like I said, when I was 16, or I was saying a long time ago. Hi, John. So I lost my train again. We were talking about when I was 16 and how so I'm at my friend's house, and I have a whole story about my 4 psychotic episodes on my channel. It used to be on the main page, but if you just go to videos and maybe you can filter by popular, it'll probably pop up. But that video talks about all of my experiences with bipolar disorder that happened during the 4 major psychotic episodes that I had. Because they were all very extreme. I lost my home. I lost everything I ever owned. I was unfaithful to my husband. I almost lost my husband. I hurt a bunch of people, a bunch of friends. I almost died. Like, really awful things. Yeah, you definitely should not smoke weed if you're bipolar. I've smoked in my entire life. So and it's something that I could like not do, but it's a problem I have. And it's definitely, like, I'm not going to lie to you guys and be like, don't, you know, some of us do, and we shouldn't. And so that's the recommendation. Don't do that, because it can make it worse. It heightens your emotion. And if you do, be honest with your psychiatrist. That's the one thing. You have to always be honest with your psychiatrist if you have bipolar disorder. I've had 7 back operations. I do CBD after surgeries only because the pain is god awful. John, who's talking about his back operations in the chat. I am like, I empathize with you so much because I injured myself and hurt my back, and I was pretty debilitated for several days, and did not um I didn't realize how much pain people with back pain are in. It affects your entire body. So literally every move you make hurts. So I am so sorry about that. It sounds like a complete nightmare, and thank goodness there is CBD and things like that. Um, yeah, it is. Marijuana is better than alcohol. At least I believe that. I think alcohol can kill you. Um, yeah, other meds make me feel me. Makes you breathe and smell bad. Wait, what? Yeah, yeah, it does. It does. CBD and THC is a great national landmark. So, like, yeah, we don't want to promote drug use, especially here. My 8th is getting a scheduled war. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Wow. Yeah, war is I can't imagine things that you went through and the pain that you saw and the trauma that you face today. Um, so you have my love and respect. And I hope the 8th surgery gets better. Speaking of war, it's insane in the world. There's wars everywhere. It's crazy. Now I can walk without coughing my head off. What's a dirty bomb? Now I can walk without coughing my head off. At one time, I could run 5 miles a day. And I got old. Yeah, I'm getting old too. It's no fun. I was SF, saw so much. That's so horrible. Radiation. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I can't even, like, I can't even fathom. I cannot even fathom. Like, I've seen things when the war in Gaza first started. I found out that I was following a clothing company that was Palestinian. It was this really cool company that helps kids in like war-torn countries. They sell like sweatshirts and stuff like that. And so I started getting all these videos in my feed of kids with their arms blown off, or, and the most shocking and terrifying thing about it was that these kids that they would interview were acting like it was normal, like they were used to it, like they were used to being bombed. And it was really horrible. The whole situation over there is really horrible. So I started, and of course I saw everything on the news about what happened, the horrible things that happened to the people in Israel. So it was a lot. I went off to Instagram for 4 months. So yeah, so I can't, I don't know how. I'm so glad you're here. It's time from Lee. Okay, bye. You're amazing. You will overcome mental illness. You may not believe in Jesus, but thank you, the butler. The butler. When I was in the hospital and had psychosis where I thought my son was getting abused, and I was jumped in hospital by security guard and male nurses, they choked me. That's what Efren said. So I've seen a lot of people get tackled in the psych ward and given a shot. I myself have been tackled in the psych ward and given a shot that knocks you out. I heard one girl call it one time the booty juice. Yeah, the nurses in the psychiatric ward, they have to be really careful. So if you get too close to them, or you start screaming and acting out, which is what can happen. The last time I was in a psych ward, the girl who I was delusional about and thought was Lana Del Rey, who was just some random chick, she woke up, I think, realizing that she was in a psych ward, because this happens a lot too. I've noticed it happened to me. I'm sure it happens a lot. where someone will wake up and realize that they're in the psych ward and that they can't leave. And so I was sleeping and I heard her get up, and I heard her yelling in the hallway, and the nurse was like, I looked out the window and the nurse was like trying to like get her off of her. And so anyway, that chick went to a different floor. But oh God. How do you okay, so John, so how do you survive? Like, how do you get through your day? Because you saw horrific things, you were in a horrible situation, and now it like comes to haunt you. How do you deal, like, do you work out obsessively? Do you what helps you? Hey Jess, Jess is back. Good day, sister. Hey, bye. They gave me a shot too. Yeah, it's fun to get the booty juice, right? You're like knocked out. Not really. But they choked me and stepped on my hands and legs while security choked me. Where? Are you in the US? I'm just curious. Ephraim. Ephraim? Do I say Ephraim? Or I guess you can't tell me because you're in the chat. How long were you hospitalized for? I mean, how many days did it take you to get off the mania? So Phil asked, how long were you in the hospital for? How many days did it take you to get off mania? It was different every time, and sometimes there was medical intervention and sometimes there wasn't. For the first episode that I had, I was hospitalized, and I would say I probably stayed in that episode for probably like 4 months because I've been to multiple psychiatric hospitals because I was diagnosed so late in life. And because I'm high functioning, and when I do get in the psychiatric, for a couple reasons. One, there's no funding, so a psychiatric ward here is only going to keep you for so long. So a lot of times they'll take somebody in and they'll be like, okay, you're a danger to yourself and others. They'll keep you for 5 days, and even though you're still like maybe hearing voices or whatever, you are high functioning enough to know that if you say you're not hearing voices, the doctor will let you out, and they do. And so in that case, a lot of people can be hospitalized multiple times, and I've been hospitalized multiple times. But the question was, how long did my mania last? How long did it take me to come out of it? So the first one was, I'd say probably like 4 months, and I was in multiple hospitals before I came out of it, and I came out of it really slowly. And the second one I was in for 8 months. I was in psychosis. And I was believing things, hearing things, and seeing things that weren't there. I was hallucinating. I was hearing voices. I had a lot of really weird delusions at that time. And I was doing a lot of like manic things. I was hanging out with a lot of homeless people during that episode. But without getting back to my third episode lasted probably around 6 months because there was medical intervention. I was hospitalized at UCLA, and my fourth episode I was in for almost a year. So it takes, and there's a video about all of that on my channel if you guys are interested in looking at that. It's my first 4 manic episodes. But the episode that only if you don't intervene with medication, the episode can last a very long time. And doctors will tell you that, doctors will tell you that if you don't get medication, you can stay in that psychosis state and not come out of it. And the only reason why I came out of it after a year of being in psychosis was because I was put in jail, and I figured out that if I wanted to leave jail, I would have to take medication because they sent the psychiatrist to see me while I was in jail. But yeah, it's all in the story. Did you actually hear audio voices, or was it your thoughts? I've seen your video. Okay, so Phil, when I hear, it's a certain type of voices that I hear. There's only been one time where I thought I heard like an actual voice, and that was when I thought I heard the voice of God. Um, um, but the type of voices that I hear, right? So there's delusions of grandeur with bipolar. So that means that you think you're special in some way, or that everything's about you, and the everything that's happening is related to you somehow. Like I believed I could control the weather, stuff like that. But the voices that I hear, the kind of voices that I hear, are real voices. They're people really talking, and by that I mean real live people. They're just answering my thoughts. So if there was somebody standing outside my window and they were having a conversation, and I was in mania, in psychosis state, I would think a thought and then think that their conversation is about my thought. It was about me. Like it's really strange how, but it's a certain type of delusion, or a certain type of voices. And I didn't even know that it was a certain class of hearing voices until with the last time I was at outpatient. One of the guys there has schizophrenia, and he told me that, I forget what he called it, but he said that's a certain kind of hearing voices. This message was held for review. Did you actually hear audio? Connecticut. So they choked you? I'm talking to Efren, who says when he was hospitalized for bipolar, and he was in, I'm assuming that was a delusion, thinking that your son was being hurt, that they choked him, pushed him, pulled him to the ground, and gave him a shot and choked him. People are awful, and people are different everywhere, and every single psychiatric ward that you go to, like, people, they're overrun. There's not enough nurses, and I'm not making a sib what that was totally wrong. I'm just saying that that was totally wrong. And it really sucks that there's people like that. And it would be great if they could hire better people for psychiatric hospitals, but there's no funding for that. Mental illness is something that affects 1 in 5 people are on some sort of medication for a mental health disorder, be it anxiety, ADHD, depression. It's very, bipolar is less than 3% of the population. But everyone, almost everyone experience, well, 20% of people experience enough trauma in their life that they go to a doctor and get prescribed some kind of medication. So, shoot. So I guess my point is, mental health is so severe in the United States, yet there's never any funding for it. Captain Fumduck is here to support Trump. I don't know why, but I'm in California, so good for you. I hope that you get everything you want, that Trump is giving you everything you want, but I really am sorry to let you know that you're probably going to be very disappointed. It blows my mind that people think I can't afford treatment at my home. Trolling. Don't comment. Okay, I won't go there, Rick. Thank you for moderating me. Maybe you want to moderate the next live. I'll figure out how to do it. But yeah, we can talk about Trump on a different day, on a different channel. But Asbat 80, hi. What are we talking about? We could talk, like, there's endless things to talk about, you guys. Oh, what was did I finish all the answers to the questions? What did you do for work before? SPS, what I did for work before. Um, I worked in sales for a long time. I actually made some shorts about it recently. I worked in retail, like that was my job. Worked at McDonald's when I was really young. And then I worked in retail for 10 years and I started selling engagement rings for Robbins Brothers. I sold loose diamonds and engagement rings. And I made a short that's going to come out tomorrow where I tell you guys exactly what it's like when you go to shop for a diamond at a store like that. So look out for that. But that was, yeah, well, I did do really, I was on my own. I was single. And when you sell diamonds for a company like that, they usually pay commission. They're paid pretty well. And I was really good at my job. That was like the one thing I was really good at was sales. But I went psychotic and ended up getting fired from that job. Um, and then I ended up having to move home with my parents. And then I took another job at it really sucked too, because I was making tons of money. I was making like, well, at the time, this was years ago for me, I was making like $75,000 a year. And I never made that kind of money again once I quit that job. I got fired from that job because I basically just stopped going to work because I was psychotic. And so then I had to like rebuild after my episode. And then the last job that I had, like the last, like my career was in media. So I worked with like all the ad executives from all the television networks and stuff like that. And I placed ads for clients like movie companies and like Mini Cooper and Bear Paint and brands like that. They would give me money and I would go buy all their commercial time. So that's what I did for 8 years. If you're interested in hearing about that, that was a really interesting job. So yeah, I had enough money to buy a condo at the time when I was selling diamonds, and so I bought a condo, and I was so stressed out over the payment because I bought it on my own. I think it was a really rash decision to buy it in the first place. It was at the height of the market years ago. I think it was like 2005. Yeah, it was 2005. That I bought that place, and it was a probate sale. So what that takes longer. So I bought it and then I had like 30 days to think about whether I made the right decision or not. And I got so sick. I got so sick. I have never been this depressed in my entire life. I was so scared that my skin like completely broke out, like it had never done before. And it I remember one time being in an elevator with this guy who was going to fill out some paperwork for the condo, and I remember being in the elevator, and this guy got in the elevator, and I remember thinking, like, how can anyone not want to die in this world? Like, how can that guy be so happy? Like, how, like, I was that low. Um, but yeah, the money that I had, I got from refinancing that condo. I pulled out money from that condo, and then I ended up walking away from it. I just moved out and had to file bankruptcy. So yeah, so it was fun to file bankruptcy at 30 years old as a result of all of my mania and psychosis. So I only yelled out, and then they said, we're going to give you a shot, but I was scared because they were all coming at me. And so I thought I had to defend myself, and they all jumped on me. So we're talking to Ephraim about how when he was in the hospital, they all tackled him and gave him a shot of the booty juice to calm him down and knock him out. But he's saying, I was so scared because they all were coming at me. And so I thought I thought I had to defend myself because they all jumped on me. It is so terrifying when you're in it happened to me the first mental hospital I was ever at. I woke up and realized I was in a mental hospital basically, and started screaming and yelling, and there were cameras there, and I believed that the cameras were connected to beings in outer space that were watching me. And so I flipped out, and like 5 people came out, and nurses, and like grabbed like each one of my feet and arms, and like carried me inside, and like gave me a shot, and like laid me, and I just passed out on this bed. So it's terrifying. It's scary when stuff like that happens. And if you have bipolar disorder, that's like a normal experience for you to be hospitalized, especially bipolar type 1, because you have to have an episode in order to be diagnosed. So it's not uncommon that we all go to a psychiatric ward at least once. And like I said, I've been to over 20. Okay, so Phil asked, was it easy opening up to your husband about being bipolar and your past? Oh, thank you. Thank you, Efrain. I appreciate you. So my husband and I have known each other since I was 21. We met on a houseboat with a ton of guys. I was the only girl. It was this really strange experience. It was this really random thing that happened. But anyway, we met when I was 21. So he's known me my whole life. And part of the reason why we ended up getting married was because after my 3rd psychotic episode, which was miserable, like this was back when I was working in media in LA for an advertising agency, and I went psychotic and ended up like going back to my work, being psychotic. It was humiliating, and my husband was the only one that was there for me. So we dated. When I first met him when I was 21, we dated for 8 months, and then we just kind of stayed friends over the years. And then when I had that psychotic episode, he was there for me, and he was really the only person I felt comfortable around. So I think like there's a lot of shame with saying that you have bipolar to someone. Like my husband saw it all go down. Like he was there when I was diagnosed. So he's like crazy supportive, and like, he's the one that's like, I don't see the point of you getting like some random job if it's just going to stress you out. Cause my career is over. I'll never have a career again in media. I'm done. Like it's a small community. Like I went psychotic at work and stopped going to work, but then kept showing up at work and acting like making threats like I owned the company or something crazy. Like I don't remember. It's all blacked out. All I know is that according to my friend Scarlett, they had to hire security just for me because it was that bad, which is really, really, really awful. I still have quite a few of you there, but we've been chatting for a while. Does anybody have any questions about bipolar disorder? I know like I've been all over the place. Eric, did you leave? Or are you still there? Eric's going to be my moderator next time, I think, if you will. I think he left. Oh, no, you're still there. Yay. You want to moderate for me next time I do a live? I think I want to do them like once a week. They're really fun. I like hanging out with you guys. Like, I don't really like Athena's like I have like not too many friends. And Athena's my friend, but I really don't have a lot of friends. Oh, my bad. Yes, definitely. Oh, that'd be great. Because sometimes the chat was getting a little weird there for a minute. I won't curse. Okay, that's cool. Hi, Raphael. But yeah, so I'm thinking I'm going to do lives like, but I'm going to try once a week and see. And you're going to see like 3 shorts a day for a while. Because like I said, like I was never really like putting 100% into my channel before. But now I'm putting way more work into it just because like I need something to do. And it's just I want to have like such a supportive community for all of us. You guys are like so kind and like to support each other. Thank you, Phil. Yeah, I feel like you need to stop smoking weed, though. It messes up you emotionally, and there is high risk of going into media. Phil, I agree with you. Absolutely, 1,000,000%. Do you play Fortnite? No, I don't play Fortnite. The shorts are great and informative. Thank you, Eric. Good. I'm glad you like them. I was a little worried. I was like, are people gonna get annoyed by seeing my face in their feed all the time? Um, but uh, but yeah, I'm glad it's okay, because yeah, I'm planning on doing like 3 of those a day for a while if I can. And then I want to do the lives, but we'll have to see, you know, how much time. But I want to try and do a live at least once a week because they're so fun. I like hanging out with you guys, and heck, know what? Oh, oh man. It's nice having you back. I missed you. You were my first. Aw, you guys go subscribe to Jess. She has a channel called Our Bipolar where she talks about her life with bipolar disorder. And we made friends through YouTube. YouTube has been awesome. I've made so many friends through YouTube. Some of you guys have reached out via Instagram. You could totally follow me on Instagram too. It's A Bipolar Person. And then if you're interested in hearing about my music, there's I have music on another channel called Reeve and Finny, 2 words, REVE, and then another word, INFINI, which with an accent means infinite dream in French, which is what my music is for me, an infinite dream. But yeah, you guys, it's been so fun hanging out with you, but I think I have to go because I have to use the restroom. But I really hope that you can join the next live, because, you know, it's fun. And yeah, you guys check out my music. Thank you so much for being you, Eric. I really appreciate you so much. Thank you guys for being here. Bipolar person. Bye, Kajul. Thank you guys for coming to the chat. Thank you, John. Thank you, Harold Fisher. He left, even though he was. I appreciate, even if we disagree on stuff, you guys, we should always we should feel comfortable talking to each other, especially here. Bye, Phil. Okay, bye, you guys. It's been so cool having you on the live. If you missed the earlier part, just go to, you can watch this video. It'll be up. And if you're interested in learning about any of my psychotic episodes or the mania, bye, Eric, or the mania, then like I said, there's a video on my main page there. If you just filter by popular, you should see it. It should come up. It's the most popular video I have, but it's my 4 first manic episodes. And I get kind of emotional in it. So if that kind of thing bugs you, I'm warning you. It's emotional living through my past. But I've had so much fun talking to you guys, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.